What's up, YouTube family? It's Andrea here at VW Family Farm, and I am going to show y'all some of my top things that I think everyone should have on hand. Now, I've had some comments from y'all that you're really enjoying our videos because we're not talking about the virus that's going around. We're just going on with our everyday life, and that's pretty much the truth. We're just having to carry on here at the farm. There's calves being born, all kinds of stuff happening every day. Our work schedule here at our farm has really not changed because our kids, we're here all the time anyway. But I have also had some requests from people in real life that have not homesteaded up to this point or raised any of their own food, but they're really interested now that all this has went down about some of the things we think they should have on hand to start moving in that direction. So I thought I'm gonna share this with you all. By no means am I gonna have a whole ton of virus videos or talk about this all the time, because just in our personal life, honestly, that's not how we're gonna live through all this. We're gonna carry on, we're gonna be aware, but we're not gonna live fearful and let it just take over our life. But let's get to it. The things I think everyone should have on hand during this time and for times like this that might come in the future. First thing, I was putting these things kind of in an order in my mind, and the first thing I think everyone should have on hand is a good water filter. Now, this is a Berkey, and that's the one I would highly recommend. I love mine. We have drank so much more water since we've had it. It tastes great, but we could literally take this thing out, and they have studies to back this up. We could dip water out of our pond and it would filter it and we could drink it. And water is just so important. It's essential to life. Everyone needs water every day. Your food can vary, but you have to have water. It's just one of those things in a survival situation that I think everyone needs, is a good way to filter water. Now, all these things, here's the great thing about this video today. I'm gonna link all these below where you can order every single one of these online without leaving the comfort of your home. Have them delivered straight to you. I know you're still bringing things into your home, but it's a lot safer than getting out and going to town. So I'm gonna link this below. Water is just very important to me. It's something we use on a daily basis, drinking water as well as in our tea and our coffee. If you think about it, water is just one of the things that you want a good quality of, because you're putting that into your body every single day. So what are you putting in your body? That's something to think about. As well as, we never think about our water system being compromised, but look at last year up in Michigan and all the things they had with the lead in the water and all that. You just never know. So clean, healthy water is number one on my priority list. All right, the next thing is groceries. And specifically, what if you go to the grocery store and there is no bread? It's not time to panic. You can make bread at home. It's super simple. I've got several videos out on how to make bread, from Amish bread, which is super delicious and really quick, to how to make sourdough bread, how to start your own sourdough starter. But let's say you go to the store and not only is there no bread, there's no flour. Don't freak out then either. There is stuff you can do. Where do you think flour comes from? Well, let me tell you. It comes from wheat berries. That is what they harvest off of wheat, and that's the name they give them, wheat berries. I'm gonna show you some. So if you've been watching our channel very long, you know I don't do anything small. So it's go big or go home around here. So this is actually a 5-gallon bucket, and this is full of hard white wheat. And we just bring it home and put it in the freezer for about 10 days to kill any bugs or any things that might be in there that could hatch eventually and ruin this. And then I put it in this food grade 5-gallon bucket. This is called a gamma lid, and we get both of these at Lowe's. That's a local store to us. I'm gonna find these on Amazon and link them below. Just food grade 5-gallon buckets, gamma lids. What these do is this lid actually pops on there, and then this inner part screws on and creates an airtight seal. And then you never take this outside part off again. You just screw and unscrew this inner part when you want to get out of this bucket, and it keeps your food safe for literally years. Now, a lot of people go a step further and use like a Mylar bag and things to absorb moisture and things in these buckets. I've never went that far, and my food is kept for years so far. This stuff will keep forever if stored properly. So Wheat berries. I order those from Azure Standard. That's an online grocery order where I go meet a truck and pick up groceries from them once a month. I'm gonna link that below as well. It's always linked below because that's where I buy staples. I've been buying from them long before YouTube, but it's just something I'm trying to get the word out about. They will also deliver to your home. The shipping is higher, but in these times, if you can't get things from your local Walmart or whatever, that is a way to get things shipped to your home. As well as, I'm gonna link wheat berries on Amazon, and you can get those shipped directly to your home as well. Okay, now what are you gonna do with these wheat berries when you get them home? Well, let me show you. So this is actually my grain mill. It's called a Wonder Mill. I really love it. It works great. I've had this several years now, and actually my flour is in this big canister behind it, and you just turn it on, fill it up with wheat berries, and it grinds them up. It will grind other things too. Mainly I've only used it to grind my own flour. Now I did not get into grinding my own flour for like a prepper situation, but I did it because it was a way I could get organic wheat berries and have organic flour at a much cheaper price than buying organic flour or buying sprouted flour or any of those things. I've shown y'all in videos also sprouting flour before. And so that's how I got into that. This works awesome. This is a little more pricey. It's not outrageous. I'm gonna link this from Amazon in case you're interested in a grain grinder, but this is where I started. And this is affordable for pretty much anyone. Now, the catch to this is you have to have a KitchenAid mixer, and then this goes into the power port on the front of your mixer. Now, I did not know for the first few years, call me dumb, whatever, that KitchenAid has a power port. This thing right here, this is my KitchenAid mixer back here. This thing right here on the front is not just a fancy little label that says KitchenAid. You take this off and you can put, there is a gazillion different attachments you can put in there. From grinders for meat, to ice cream makers, to pasta makers, and this is just another one of those. This is a grain grinder for your KitchenAid mixer. It's really affordable. I use this for quite a while. It will work just fine. The next thing I think everyone needs is a supply of canning jars. They come in all different brands. People can in everything from brand names to store brands to old mayonnaise jars to all kinds of stuff. You'll find everyone's opinions on which is the best and which you should and shouldn't can in. But the point is, you need, if you get an opportunity to snatch some of these up at estate sales, garage sales, whatever, snatch these up. A lot of times, older people that are done canning will just give them to you because they know what a treasure they are and they can't bring themselves to throw them away. But as you can see behind me, I have a ton of food canned in jars. So what you're gonna need to can is you're gonna need obviously some jars. Then you're gonna need what is gonna seal this jar. So this is called the lid. That's what you will see this referred to as on packaging and things when you go to buy these. It has this rubber seal. So this type right here, this is not a name brand. I bought these in bulk. I will see if I can find those online, but I actually bought them at a local store and I can't get them there anymore. I bought like hundreds of these at a time. But I do replace these every time, but I buy so many at a time that I have a stockpile that will last me for years, pretty much at all times. So this has this rubber seal under here. It goes on top of the jar. And then this is what is referred to as the ring. You're gonna have to have some of these too. And it seals it off. And then depending on what type of canning you're doing, you're gonna need a water bath canner, which basically just means a big pot that these can sit down in and be covered an inch or two with boiling water. That's water bath canning. It's easy. You literally make your jam or your jelly or whatever and then cover these in water, and for a certain amount of time do that. Now, if you're gonna do some canning, I would recommend getting you a canning book. This is my go-to canning book. It's the Ball Complete Book of Home Preserving. It's helped me know how to confidently can for my family. I'm not a big wing it person on canning because there's a lot of factors involved and I don't want to kill my family with botulism. So I would just recommend get a book, follow the directions, learn what you're doing, learn the ratios and things like that. Start with something simple. Can you some jelly or something like that? When you're ready, move on to pressure canning. And you can do that right away. There's nothing hard about it. I've got videos out. I did a whole series last summer of canning from green beans to tomatoes to all kinds of stuff. And those are things, especially green beans and low acidic foods, that you're gonna need a pressure canner. Now this is not a big fancy expensive pressure canner. I don't have any of those. I never could afford them, This is a Presto canner from Walmart, and I'll link this on Amazon. It's one of the lower priced ones. You'll notice there's not even a gauge up here telling the pressure. This thing jiggles, and that tells me that it's up to pressure. It works like a jewel. None of my stuff comes unsealed when I use this thing properly. It's really easy to use, and I think everyone should have a canner on hand. Okay, one last thing about canning that I wanted to mention before we move on to the last thing I think you should have on hand. If you go in the grocery stores right now, there's a lot of food still there. But a lot of those things are not the things other people are buying. You might find beans in bulk, or you might find meat in bulk and things like that. It's because a lot of people don't know what to do with those things. They don't know what to do with meat in huge quantities. But a lot of times that's how you get a better price. And even if you're not raising food right now, if you're buying it at the grocery store, you can still come home and have a shelf that looks like this. You can prepare your own food and can it from grocery store items. You can break meat down. Canning meat is nothing to be scared of, and then it's super delicious and easy to use. So I encourage you, get you a book, get you a canner, start stocking up on some of those things from the store so you'll feel more prepared for your family. This is actually some venison we canned just this last fall, and once you pressure can it, it's fully cooked. It literally takes minutes to prepare, and it's just full of satisfaction as well, knowing that you prepared this yourself for your family. One last item, I do can most of our food from our farm, but these carrots actually came from Azure Standard. I bought a 25-pound bag, I know that's a huge bag, and I canned these for our family because our carrots didn't do so well. And so it's okay, don't feel like just because you didn't grow it, you can't can it. Get you some food from the store and just get busy.
Another thing that we find highly necessary is heirloom seeds. Heirloom seeds are something that you can continue to harvest and plant. Always remember when you are planting varieties of plants that you separate like a pepper from a different variety of pepper at least 50 feet away to get a true heirloom back out of it.
But people keep heirloom seeds for like 50 years in their barn. They found seeds from grandma and grandpa or whatever. So you can keep those for a long time. So that is definitely a must-have here for us, because that is how you're going to grow and produce that food that you're going to be able to can in those canning jars. And that's just, there's so much satisfaction in growing even a little tiny garden. I don't care where you are. You don't have to do that, but I would definitely start collecting you some seeds so that you can do that if you want to. Baker Creek, I'm sure y'all have seen, is closed down right now, all except online shipping and online orders, and they've been bombarded. So if you think you might want some seeds, I would get your order in ASAP so you can get in line and start getting some. Also, Haas Tools, we've started using their seeds over the last, some last year, and then we've planted some this year. And their slogan is, we help you grow your own food. So that tells you their mission. Their seeds have a great germination rate. I don't know that all of Haas Tools are heirlooms, but if you look into GMO crops and heirloom crops and all those things like that, just the seeds and the plants that you're gonna plant from like even a Bonnie nursery commercial like stand at your local feed store or whatever, you're not going to get GMO plants. That's something that they're growing in huge quantities in farm fields and things like that. So don't get so hung up on it. I would say number one is, whatever it is, grow your own food, whether it's heirloom or not. It's just heirlooms have such a history and a story behind them. They're fun to grow, and I do think they are probably the best because they've not been crossed and all that. But I also wouldn't be afraid of a hybrid either.
No, the one big thing about a hybrid is when you harvest that seed out of that, you're not going to get that true plant back. You're either going to get a plant from one side or the other, that I call it the mother or the father,
right?
Whichever ones they cross that with. When you do heirlooms, you're going to get that exact plant back.
Right. So there you go. Whatever seeds you can get your hands on, that's what I would do and have you a stash. The most important seeds, I would say right now, when you're wanting to grow food quickly, is things that are going to produce you food quickly. And the things in your garden that are going to produce quickly right now, as we're heading into spring here in the U.S., is things like beets and radishes and things that have a quick turnaround time. So I would definitely plant some of those. But also, number one right now that I would get your hands on is some sprouting seeds, because microgreens have the quickest turnaround. Now these are red clover, and then this is a 3-part salad mix that has alfalfa, radish, and broccoli. And these things are ready in, these are ready in 5 to 6 days, and so are these.
You can do things like sunflowers. There's all different sorts of seeds you can harvest the greens off of.
Yes. So 5 to 6 days, you're eating greens from your house. Plus they're fun. It's super fun to watch them grow and go check them every day. You can do that in dirt, so you can actually start getting you some dirt in some trays, and I've got videos on that too. Go check our playlist for that. But you don't have to even do that. This is a sprouting jar. I'm going to link this below, but you don't have to buy this jar. Just if you have any kind of glass jar and then you have something to put over the top. You can see this has a mesh screen, but you can use some clean brand new pantyhose or something like that and drape that over the top. The point of this is because these seeds are tiny and you have to rinse this a couple times a day, and you don't want the seeds to fall out when you pour the water out. That's the only thing with that screen. I've seen people use the crafting stuff that looks like the grid that you do, like it's not embroidery, but where you can like make things with the yarn and all that. I don't know what it's called. You can use that from the craft section, but like I said, don't get fancy. And these times when you're trying not to get out, just use a piece of cloth or something that will let the water out and the seeds in. But that is a number one, is microgreens.
So thanks for hanging out with us today. Those are some of our top recommendations. Always, if you've got some very important recommendations that you have, you can always throw them down in the comments.
Yes, please do. And remember, y'all, let's don't live in fear, but let's be prepared. And if you feel very unprepared this time, now's the time to start putting your money back, because I just told Ben off camera, I said, well, this whole quarantine thing is going to be great for our budget, because there's no eating out, there's no going around running around just looking for things to do. There's none of that, so it's probably going to be great for your budget too. I know some people are out of work, and I hate that. I don't want to be insensitive to that. I have heard of programs that are going to try to help people out, so I pray that that's the case for you. But it's time to start taking some of our money and putting it into things that matter, that next time maybe we will feel more prepared. So these are just some of our top recommendations of things you can start sticking back to get for yourself.
Just don't live in fear, trust in God, and He'll show you the way. So in these times, just cherish the moments that you're being able to spend with your family, cherish them, and don't look past that. This is time that God has given you to be close together.
So we will see you guys later.
Thanks for watching. God bless.